Job descriptions can be really hard to decipher and to know whether you should continue and apply or do not pass go, let's stop right here. Is it a company that's not recognizable? Well, are they a scam? Are they asking for 8,000 requirements? Who had the time to learn and gain all these skills? Or maybe it's the 10,000 tasks that they say you'll do in this role and you're thinking, wait, are they hiring a person or a department, right? There's a lot of things that can make you go, oh, I don't know if I should apply for this job or not. So today, let's talk about job description, red flags, and when to stop altogether and when to maybe proceed with caution. So if we haven't met, my name is Cassandra and I help motivated professionals build their careers through practical tips to gain career confidence. And let's talk about that job description. The biggest thing I think we all wonder when reading a job description is it a scam? Right? You've probably seen these or you've heard of these. How do you know when it's a scam and when it's just a really poorly written job description? So the first way to tell it's a scam is that the title and the actual description of what you would do don't match. My favorite version of these is places that say it's a marketing job, but it's really a sales job. In case you didn't know, marketing and sales are not the same thing, but certain companies want you to believe they are. And some might not be scams, but they're sort of a wolf in sheep's clothing. They're telling you they're one thing and they're really another. So my favorite of these is I'll see ones that say they're a marketing job. And you start reading the description and it talks about how you're going to promote our product out in the world. You will be on the front lines sharing our product to people. And you know what it really means? It means you're that person in Costco telling people about these new lights or this new pillow on weekends. Like, have you met those people at Costco? That is not a job for everybody. And a lot of times that's not a job that somebody thought they were signing up for. They thought they were signing up for something different, not standing in Costco. Also, no shade to those people. It's just rarely are they getting what they expected they were getting in the job. Next way to tell it's a scam is when there's no job description at all. Now, these used to be super popular back when we'd look in newspapers. It would just say things like, earn $17 an hour, call this number. And it was like, this feels too good to be true, but I'm desperate, so I'm gonna try it. If there's no job description, keep on moving. The next one, if it asks you to pay money, if it says, oh, to move forward, you need to send this much money to, I don't know, get this assessment or get these things. If you have to pay money of any kind, that is a huge red flag. We do not pass go. The thing is, this one, I'm sure some of you right now are like, Cassandra, that is so obvious. Like, really, you're telling me this? When we really need a job, when we've hit the bottom of the barrel in our heads, you haven't actually, but in your head, you've hit the bottom of the barrel, you start getting desperate, and desperate people make not the greatest choices sometimes. So while it might seem really obvious of like, I'm not going to pay a company to get me the job if that's in the job description, obviously, sometimes it's not so obvious. Sometimes that job sounds so good, or we just need a job so badly, we think, yeah, I'll do it. But just don't do it. Another way to tell it's a scam is if they're requesting too much personal info. Yes, you need to give them your address and your phone number, but your date of birth should not be there. Your social should not be needed at this point. They don't need a ton of personal information. This also doesn't mean that the job is a scam, but it just shows a red flag of, is this where you want to work? In LA, it was very common for even hostess jobs at trendy restaurants to want your headshot and your resume with your measurements. No, you do not need that for me to go, how many are in your party? It's not necessary. So sometimes it's not a scam, but it is something that should make you go, I don't know if these are the people I want to work for. Another one that shows it's a scam, typos. In fact, not just like typos, but a lot of typos. We want to stay away from anybody who couldn't write their job description properly. And then the last way to tell it's a scam, and I kind of touched on it already, if the salary is too good to be true, it is. So if it's an entry-level job that's saying, we'll pay you $25 an hour, $30 an hour, or make 6 figures this year on something where it's like entry-level, that's a scam. I would just stay away. Let's be realistic about these things. Red flag number 2, having 8,000 requirements or tasks that need to be done. This is what I call the unicorn red flag, okay? In tech hiring, they constantly talk about the unicorn, that elusive candidate that can hit absolutely everything listed on that job description and has that je ne sais quoi that they need for this position. That person that they just feel it and they have all the experience coming in. They're not gonna have to learn anything. They've just got it. Basically, they're asking for a fantasy, right? A unicorn is not real, folks. And yet they call them unicorn candidates, thinking they're so clever, being like, well, we know this is going to be very hard to find because it's a unicorn. And I'm like, no, it's not hard to find because it's a unicorn. Unicorns aren't rare. They're non-existent. In case I'm bursting any bubbles for you right now, unicorns don't exist. But companies love to talk about finding that unicorn, that really they're wanting that diamond in the rough candidate, that needle in a haystack candidate, but they call it a unicorn. So if you see one of these jobs that acts like you should have a billion kinds of experiences, you should have done all these things by a certain point, you should be able to do all these tasks once in the job, I say proceed with caution. I'm not going to say it's an absolute do not pass go, but proceed with caution. Sometimes when we get into the interview, we see what they really need. Sometimes you look and you go, I can do all those things. Great. You really are the diamond in the rough candidate. But really be looking at, is this person wanting to hire one person or do they want a department and one person to do the job of a department? It just sometimes can show that a company has very unrealistic expectations of what one person can do. Now, while the word unicorn isn't normally in the job description, oftentimes you will see the words ninja, rock star, wizard, like, no. We don't live in Harry Potter, right? We're not in Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. I am not a rock star. If they're using those words and then it happens to have a bunch of tasks under it, I would walk away. So the last red flag is actually my favorite. I know that's weird, but really, it is my favorite. And that is words and phrases that equal a dysfunctional work environment. Here are a few. Super flexible equals you will be on call 24/7. Unlimited vacation means when will you feel brave enough to ask for 2-3 weeks off? No one ever does. In case you didn't know, unlimited vacation studies have shown those people work harder and longer than people who get told you get 10 days this year. This is my personal favorite. Work hard, play hard. This means that, yes, we are all going to work together, but you also need to make us your best friends too. So we're going to see you all day long, and then we expect you to join the company softball team. We're a family. A dysfunctional one. Work in a highly competitive environment. This one is for some people. If you're a competitive person, go for it. But for the rest of us, work in a highly competitive environment means your coworkers are not your friends, they're your competition. It's going to be cutthroat. Able to handle creative or ambitious personalities. This means your boss will be difficult. Now, to demonstrate this more, I actually went and found a couple of job descriptions to show you how they're written and ways that you might just want to proceed with caution. Like I said, these are red flags, but just like in dating, we see one red flag and we just go right on past it. So you're going to have to decide for yourself, is one red flag worth nixing it, or do we look for a second red flag? But these are things to be thinking about. So one I liked was, this was in an actual job description. The ideal candidate is tenacious, inspired by making great content, and can handle high pressure situations. That's going to be a hard work environment. I'm just going to tell you right now. The fact that they said you have to be tenacious, I don't know if I want that in my job description. I think I'm a tenacious person, but do you want to be stressed out like that at work every day? I don't know. Just think about it. Then, like I said before, working in entertainment, these are the best because in case you didn't know, film and television has a lot of mercurial, difficult, hard to deal with personalities. And sometimes in the job description, they're trying to tell you that without just telling you that. And sometimes they're just real honest about it. So this was one I found for an agent assistant. I'm going to have to read. You're seeing me look down because I'm reading off my screen. Part-time job. Long-time agent looking for a right-hand person. Someone who is in it for the long term and is ready to learn some more. Most of your work will be done from the comfort of your home, but it does require a lot of time throughout the day. But it's a part-time job. What you will be doing: communicating with talent and casting directors all day long. And then in parentheses, and sometimes into the night. You will also be working on submissions daily, as well as helping to set up interviews and appointments. Okay, that sentence makes sense. Here's my favorite. This is not for the faint of heart, but you will have a lot of fun and a lot of excitement to keep you busy in this part-time job. You need a computer. You need a car. You need at least 4 to 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday, to be dedicated to this position. So again, inconsistencies, big red flag. Part-time job, you need to be available all day long, sometimes into the night, and now, oh, you need to set aside 4 to 5 hours a day. Set aside. What are we doing here? We will be working as a team, and I will need to not only trust you, but to count on you. Okay, y'all. I would never apply for that job. That right there is written by the person you be working with, and that just screams, I am difficult. I am hard to deal with, and what I want is going to change on an hourly basis. So when you're reading job descriptions, make sure you're really thinking about, is this something I should be going for? Now, again, I'm not saying you shouldn't go for these. If it's those first ones, if it's too high a salary, they're asking for private information. Of course, those are scams. Don't go for those. But on these last 2 red flags, I'm not saying you shouldn't go, but know yourself. Proceed with caution. You know, I understand you want a job, or you want a new job, but you don't want to jump from the frying pan into the fire. Let's make sure you're getting in the right position. Now, if you have been looking at job descriptions and applying, and you're starting to get to the point where you're interviewing, or you just want to be prepared when that interview comes along, I have a course for you. It is my interview confidence course, right? It's everything you need to be prepared and confident when walking into your next interview. Now, that literally walks you through my system, the system I personally use when preparing for any job interview. And so you can check that out in the description box below. So that is it for today. I hope you have a great one. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments, what are some of the words and phrases you stay away from and tell you, nope, I'm not applying anymore. I would love to see them. Okay, that's it. Have a good one. Bye.